other things. You got the same thing here, erasing other towers. I want people to see what's there. This was actually a fallen angel, and what it was basically doing was being very intimidating. It shapeshifted itself into a giant ribbon, and these are just other questionable areas where it's got moon bases on it. There's other activity there, activity that, you know, it's very, very horrible, most of it. You know, if it's secret, it ain't good. These are pyramids that are on the moon, and you notice 1, 2, 3 of them. From the shot angle, actually 4 right over here. From the shot angle of it, you'll think that these pyramids are close together, but they're actually not. They're probably maybe 3 to 6 miles apart from each other. And basically in that time, pyramids were built for energy sources, kind of like a big giant battery to light up your city. And that's what they were there for, basically. And this is to show that they're somewhere near a ruinous city, and they're not too far off from it. And just very powerful. And same thing here. What we had here were UFOs kind of lying on the surface. They looked like giant bugs, actually. And basically these things started to pop up when these astronauts started to take pictures. This is one of the major reasons that spooked them to get off the moon. Many of these astronauts, actually, when they went to the moon, a lot of them thought they weren't even coming back. They were that scared by it. Basically, we have more same thing here. We have a statue of from what I understand, a goddess-type ruler with a sword that's been broken off. We see the handle of the sword here, and you see its blade end right over here. Very interesting because it's old world metal, so it'd be kind of interesting to look through that a little bit. Very, very interesting indeed. We have here was a Viminia ship. This is known as a smaller Viminia class ship, and this comes straight from the old world. So this was an old world ship, meaning it wasn't built by the government. It was built by a government those thousands of years ago. And basically, as you can see, the 3 holes there, it was attacked basically. And but looking at how advanced it is, it's marvelous. From what I understand, they were going in there to take away computer chips that were on it, and to get a schematic, basically, of how it was built. Just a beautiful ship, though. Nothing really quite like it. And what we have here was the type of engines I was talking about in terms of Viminia. This is one of their engine capsules. And if you look here, this is the crystal that's right in the center of it. And it's basically built to fuse power and H2O, basically. And they fuse it inside this crystal, and basically it's used to power up an entire ship. And so this is why they came to that area, because they knew what was there, and they were trying to extract the technology. And what we have here is basically a pagan altar built on the moon. Quite interesting. But this was from a long time ago. And basically that's what they did. And it's just quite shocking. This is more stuff here. You're looking at more ruins in the ground here. And looking at just a kind of oblong structure, really. It's, if you look at this blue thing right here, this is actually what they couldn't completely cover up. But this is to show you that massive blue crystal city that we just got through talking about. This is one of the beams that's being shown that they weren't able to cover up completely. And it's just very mind-blowing. And this is kind of showing you what they really covered up in this photograph. This whole area right here has an abandoned ruinous city on it. And when they showed this photograph, they showed it, but they took out the actual city that they were covering up. So this is kind of showing you what they did, you know, what was really there, and why they took it out. Showing you how advanced their camera techniques are in terms of eradicating things, you know, You think they would be truthful, but you know, that's the government for you. They've disappointed us. And so this is another picture of another moon base that they have. And what you're looking at here is called portal technology. And that's what this big giant thing is used for. And what you're looking over here is a tractor that's about to come in. And this tractor usually goes to the mining fields, picking up silver, gold, metal, other resources. And this is one of the bases that they have on the moon. And sometimes people come through portals. They're walked out through here. And they come into this base here. There's tractors here. You'll notice mining fields here around it. You'll notice this big flash of light right here, which had a lot to do with the fact that when the astronauts came close to it, the fallen angels appeared, because fallen angels are everywhere on the moon, and basically guarding a lot of their evil things that they got human beings involved in. Basically, this was the mothership, as it's well known, Verminia ship. When we come to learn about this area, is that the reason why they fogged out or put a lot of electrostatic in terms of the seams around this area was because of all the gold that was around that area. There was so much gold in that area that it's just mind-numbing to think about in terms of your imagination. To see the gold that clearly from all the way up in the sky shows you that there wasn't like bars of gold down there. You can consider like almost like a halfway of a mountains of gold down there. There was gold nuggets and rocks and mountain-shaped rocks of gold down there. I kid you not. Like basically a gold nugget that's something like 10 miles high, and just scattered all around where this mothership was abandoned. And it really blows me away, because it kind of shows you that they were using a lot of gold, a lot of resources, and then it's also showing you that God placed a lot of those resources on other planets too. And so what we have there was basically it was a hot area, and that's why Apollo 20 was needed, and that's why the other missions that they did led up to Apollo 20, because they wanted to get that gold, that technology, they wanted that area. And so it's very shocking. This is to show you how big that ship was. I mean, it's huge. This was the harbor point of New York City, the Manhattan area. And if you look at some of the largest buildings that are in the world, they're nowhere near as big as this ship. And that's saying quite a bit. This thing is absolutely huge. It was so big that you were able to put about a half a city of people in it. And just massive, just very, very big. And it's kind of showing you that the top part of it, or the hill part of it, was actually made in gold. So it's really just very powerful stuff there. Alright, so what we're looking at here is called, first of all, from what I understand, it's an old world structure. And it had something to do with basically a meeting ground place, if you will. If you ever gone to an airport, usually the first thing you go to when you go to the airport is that you go to the airport building. That's what this was. Basically, it was a place where people gathered when they were about to take off. The Germans discovered the ruins of it, and so what the Germans did is that they basically remodeled it. And when they remodeled it, they used it as a base of headquarters when they were extracting resources off the moon, and when they were building an underground base on the moon. So years later, after the Germans built the base, they abandoned this post. And when they abandoned this post, basically they went underground. And then years later, the astronauts came here, and when they came to this specific area, what the Apollo 11 mission was about was to spy on the base, on the moon base of the Illuminati. And not just spy on this base, they were also supposed to take resources off that area. Apollo 11's mission was to do reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is that you're going to film an entire area. You're going to spy on it, basically. And you're going to find out what's there. You're going to find out what you can pull off real quick, what kind of tactics you can do through the surveillance of the area. And that's what they basically did. They were assessing what they can and cannot do, and they were assessing what was there. And so that's what this whole Apollo 11 mission was about. It was about filming the ruins, filming the resources, assessing what you can do. And so that's what basically was going on here. And what we're looking at with this structure is that it's a very huge structure, by the way. It's a two-story structure, but it's very long, it's very wide. And when you go directly into what they're doing here is they're going into the front door, basically. And when you get a very good look at it, you start to see what I basically mean here. You can basically see there was a time where basically what you're looking at is the inside of an airport, if you will, but a space-age airport. There was a time where people would be, well, basically they'd be lined up over here, and you got these other buildings and other rooms where people basically would have had their office, if you will, and, you know, there was more to this structure. A lot of it was destroyed, but there would have been a lot of technology around it. So by the time the Germans got to it, the Germans would have just remodeled it, you know, put some new structures on it to hold the building up and things like that. Once it was abandoned, it was just, that was it. So you'll notice some things about the walls of the building. You notice that they're very bright. You notice that when they come in with the camera, it seems like the whole thing seems to illuminate. It has a lot to do with basically the walls. The walls are made out of alabaster. Alabaster makes things glow, kind of like marble does. And so, from what I understand, this structure was a combination of alabaster and marble, and kind of like a white stone, if you will. And so that's why it has a very type of eerie glow. This is one of the astronauts walking. We believe this was Buzz, actually, with Armstrong filming. And if you take a good look, you notice some things here. You can see kind of what I'm talking about. You can see how this is an old world structure with some new structures in it, but this is kind of like an old world kind of line, if you will. It's a place where people lined up. And the more and more you get a very good look at it, you'll notice these archways. Archways are places where people would gather. They'd be coming in and going out. And you'll notice some other things. You look at these beams across right here, you'll notice that some of these beams are attached to the old structure, which is to hold it up. And you'll notice the ground is very broken up, and that has a lot to do with the destruction that the building went through, or was basically hit with, you know, a long time ago. And you'll notice now he's filming another room, which is here, and he's about to go right into that room. And so what he's doing is that he's just walking along it, and you start to notice some rocks, blocks, and things that have been broken apart. You'll notice here also how it's one room here, rooms here. You'll notice how it looks very much like a big giant office building. And that's kind of what you got to put into you, is that is what you're looking at. Is that you're looking at a building that had an administrative function. And even in the old world, it had an administrative function. And when the Germans took this land, they made it also into an administrative function. And then until after a while, that was pretty much it. And so that's what you're just looking at here. You're looking at a building that used to house very advanced technology, and then the Germans used it, and the Americans spied on it and walked in there and wanted to get a very good look at what's inside there. From what I understand, there was circuit boards that were left around in there. There were metal pieces as well. So basically, they collected all the circuit boards and all the metal pieces, all that type of resource that they can carry back with them while filming the rest of the structure is what they did. And pretty soon you'll see that when they're digging up these metal pieces into piles. And so you're looking at more of the structure. What he's basically doing now, he's getting more